Hey guys, welcome to AI. So today we're going to discuss a bit about how we can use AI in business. So if you've all known, we're going to start with what exactly is AI, and today we're going to discuss specifically about generative AI. So generative AI are basically stuff that you're already using in popular apps like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. So all of these apps use a specific form of AI which uses something called transformers, and they are called generative AI because they generate the next word, they generate the next token. So generating new things, it's called generative AI. So even anything that's related to video generation, anything that's related to generation of pictures, of audio, of anything, it's called generative AI. So now that you know what generative AI is in brief, we will now jump into where it is being used in business today. So if you know, there are a lot of big companies which function and have a lot of administrative processes that function within them. They have different business processes as well, like marketing, there is sales, there is basic admin, there is operations, there's supply chain, there's a lot of things. And a lot of these involve a lot of paper. They have a huge paper trail. And they also involve a lot of procedure. So the procedure in this aspect is the procedure by which a person does a task. It could be as simple as answering a bunch of emails, filling up an Excel sheet, filling up a data entry form, taking data from point A and filling it up and putting it in point B. A lot of these different parts are broken, as in they need a person to come in and change stuff. But now, with the power of generative AI, we can bridge this gap, because generative AI allows us to read whatever is there on one end as the input and give an output. Okay. So we're going to continue talking more about this as to how we can implement something like this. We'll also talk about what agents are and what chatbots are, right? So just to give you an example, let's start off with a very simple example. So imagine you wanted to fill up an Excel sheet today, right? You could easily ask ChatGPT to go and do that for you. It would generate an Excel sheet. It would generate an Excel sheet whole if you have tried it yourself, but it wouldn't be attached to the process. This is where you as a business developer will come in, or this is where you as a startup, or this is where you as someone who knows generative AI will come in, act as a consultant and help them to attach this process to that process. So in this case, if it's as simple as connecting Excel, you're going to talk to the other apps with APIs, right? Again, APIs are another very specific format. API stands for Application Programming Interface. A lot of softwares have something called an API that allows other softwares to talk to this software, right? So this is what you will learn. You'll talk about APIs, we'll talk about CLIs, command line interface, we'll talk about GUIs. GUIs are something that you already use, that is graphical user interface. Anything like Google, like any of these apps that are very graphically there, that's graphic user interface. If you use something like terminal, it's command line interface, like terminal, like if you have seen it, command line, all of that. And finally, we're going to talk about APIs. So these are the three ways by which you can connect your AI to that in basics to any other software, right? So now that you know that AI can be connected to software, the biggest power is if you can automate processes that I was talking about, like business processes that we already have. Imagine automating all of those and then building it in such a way that it's very productive for your client, right? It could be to anyone very large or anyone very small also. It applies to startups, it applies to anything. You could do something as simple as social media automation as well if you'd like. And there are a bunch of tools that we can also go over. But this is just a very quick overview in 3 to 4 minutes that I'm giving all of you. Yeah, so AI is definitely used in business, and you will be the people who will implement it. And to implement it, you will need to know which are the different types of AIs that you can use. You will need to know what are the ways by which you can interact with the other softwares. And thirdly, you will need to know how to bridge them together. So we will break it down by three things. We'll first break it down with the basic prerequisites that you will need to know for doing AI. Second thing is we will get the prerequisites of what AI exactly is and how it's implemented. And third is bridging it all together. So once we bridge everything together, we can build massive systems, something like a RAG system. We can build something like an AI chatbot. We can make an AI agent. We can make an AI agent run in a loop, and we can do all of these different things. So this is your overview for AI in business and how you can apply it to your daily life and what we'll be going forward doing in the course. So I hope you like this, and I will see you next class.